Welcome to an interview for The Wire. In the hours that followed the election results of West Bengal on May 2nd, reports of violence began to pour in from various parts of the state. The re-elected TMC government has acknowledged the death of at least 16 people. However, allegations by other parties seems to suggest that the number may be as high as 20. According to the families of the deceased, 9 from the BJP and 8 from TMC have so far claimed to have lost someone in the clashes. The deceased includes a member of the CPIM, a supporter of the Indian Secular Front, and one person whose affiliation is yet to be identified. The BJP has also claimed that 2 of its workers were gang raped by members of the TMC, a claim which the West Bengal police has deemed as fake. To make matters worse, social media platforms were flooded with images and videos that were apparently showing the violence that broke out in West Bengal. Many of these visuals were shared by leaders of the BJP, but Alt News, the independent fact-checking website, has debunked many of these images and visuals which were said to be showing the violence in West Bengal. These were fake images and fake videos. Meanwhile, Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee has asked for strict action to be taken and a compensation for those who have lost their loved ones in the political clashes. Apart from this, the central government has also deputed a 4-person fact-finding team of top bureaucrats to Kolkata. Joining me now to discuss how the violence erupted, the ecosystem of fake news, and the communal narrative that is being established at this point of time is Himadri Ghosh, a journalist based in West Bengal and a contributor for The Wire. Himadri, thank you very much for joining us today. Himadri, let me start off by asking you about what exactly has taken place on the ground in West Bengal post the 2nd of May. We are asking this question for the benefit of our audience because there seems to be the presence of a very nefarious fake news ecosystem. So what exactly has happened? Can you paint us a picture of the events that have unfolded post the 2nd of May when the results came out and the violence erupted?
So let me start by saying that right after the results started coming out, like even when the counting was not even complete, we started getting some news of violence coming from different areas of the state. It was sporadic events. It's not that across the state it's happening, all the districts it's happening, but in some districts we got to know from our sources that there was some violence are happening. These are very one level of violence where people are going and beating each other or breaking up or ransacking the party office or asking them something like this, not much killings and all. But what we saw that from next day, like 3rd of May, we started getting news of a lot of people getting killed. We got to know from the BJP media WhatsApp group, which we are part of, like all the media where they give the news or the way they interacted with the media, that videos are coming out of they are being beaten up or they are being killed in places like Purbo Bardhaman, in places like Nanur, in places like Golchi and all these places, right? So in South 24 Parganas, these are the districts where it started coming out. So obviously we have seen there is a trend in West Bengal politics that right after the election and before taking the oath, there are incidents, and even after taking the oath of the new government, there are incidents. But we started seeing that from 3rd, for the next 24 hours to 36 hours, the violence getting spiraling up, and we are getting news from the BJP side all over. There were some incidents from where the CPIM leaders were also complaining, but we are getting the news. We are also getting news from the Trinamool side that even the Trinamool people, they are also being beaten up. Their workers were also being killed. Like it happened in somewhere in Purbo Bardhaman, one of their workers were killed. So these things were coming up. But then,
just for small clarification, at this point of time, law and order falls in the ambit of which person? Does it fall in the ambit of the elected government, or does it fall still in the ambit of the governor or the election commission?
So as per the law, as per the rule of the constitution, right after one day after the results were announced, like till 3rd midnight, till 3rd midnight, the rules, the responsibilities were with the EC, because the MCC was still in place, and EC was the last person to take the call. Right. Okay, Election Commission. From the election after the Election Commission lifts the MCC until the new government takes oath. Mamata Banerjee took oath yesterday, I guess. Day before yesterday, on 5th. Yeah, on 5th. Today's 7th. So in this period, governor is a person who can take care, but it is actually the responsibility of the caretaker government, which is the ruling party, which has the majority. So there is no confusion that from 3rd, the calls were taken by Mamata Banerjee, should have been taken by Mamata Banerjee's administration, and there is no denial that nobody can deny that whatever the responsibility, the buck stops with Trinamool administration, right. Because the law and order is a state issue, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, one of the things that we've noticed about this post-poll violence is that there is an ecosystem of fake news. We've had, in fact, BJP leaders have posted tweets and have posted images and videos saying, and these images and videos have been debunked as fake news. Let me just read some of them over here for you. We had Swapan Das Gupta, former BJP Rajya Sabha MP, who lost from Tarakeshwar. He tweeted on Monday saying that there is an alarming situation in Nanur with more than 1,000 Hindu families out in the fields to escape marauding mobs seeking to take it out against BJP supporters. We had BJP leader Meenakshi Lekhi saying, violence under TMC is a reminder of direct action day, call by Jinnah, and TMC today is Jinnah's Muslim League. I mean, such statements, what do you make of them? Is this a deliberate attempt to stoke communal tension and violence, or do you think that these are made offhanded in a manner of mistake without verification? Would you say that there is a method to this sort of building up of the fake news ecosystem?
So, there has been a two school of thoughts. The Delhi media and most of the media from Delhi and Mumbai and Noida, they are trying to portray the violence in some way. And if you speak to any person who were reporting from the ground from Bengal, be it the English media journalist or the Bengali vernacular media journalist, you will get a completely different idea, because after the violence started taking place, like all other violence we have seen before in the past elections, we thought these are original violence happening. But soon we started getting these things that there is a spin of to give a communal twist by the BJP. There were information which are misleading. There are disinformation flooding the social media, and a narrative, a very what should I say, well thought narrative are being pushed through the social media. Like you said, Swapan Das Gupta's Twitter message or tweet, or Meenakshi Lekhi, or there are, I will tell Bishnupur MP, BJP MP, what is his name? Soumitra Kha. Yeah, Soumitra Kha has tweeted about the gang rape. Okay, right. One of the India Today journalist and editor, he has done the same thing.
Exactly. I was going to point
so what is happening, which we got to know, because see, journalists need to do the verification. They need to do the fact check. You can leaders can put out the tweet. That's very easy. But to do the fact check, you need time to get it fact checked or to get it cross checked with the administration, police administration. It takes time. So that day, I think it's Monday night, the EC appointed, let me tell you this thing, the EC appointed SP of Birbhum, where Nanur is located, he has come on camera, give the briefing to the press, because there has been a tension that that atmosphere of tension is created in that area, where because of this gang rape, these are much larger repercussions. Somebody getting killed and a girl getting gang raped because of political reasons has two very different nuanced thing, right? Like it creates a very socio-economic, very social tension in the society.
It has more. It stokes communal tension in a very different manner. And one more thing, I mean, a lot of these tweets that are being made, fake news as they are, coming with a twist of communalism. There is always in an attempt at targeting communities, at targeting at that idea that the TMC in itself, because in their perception of it, appeases Muslims and therefore aligns with Muslims. What do you make of this? Is this a constant and continuous attempt by the BJP to continue being communal post the elections? I mean, this was one of the most communal campaigns that they'd ever run in the history of the election that they've done. But do you think that this is still a constant attempt at trying to communalize and otherize the TMC government because apparently it aligns itself with Muslims in the state?
I am reporting from Bengal for the last 2.5, 3 years, but I spoke to senior journalists who were covering Bengal for the last 15, 20 years. I spoke to various political analysts who are observing Bengal for last 15, 20 years. I have spoken to multiple of them, and what I gathered from them, and I also feel the same thing, that after BJP ran a very successful campaign, a very high octane campaign, where the Home Minister is doing Delhi passenger, almost coming Delhi to Bengal for the election campaign. Prime Minister has done 23 rallies in 12 days. A series, like we have reported, like almost more than 55 central ministers, other state chief ministers and cabinet ministers were settled in Bengal for the campaign, and they lost in a very big way. It was a landslide victory for Trinamool, which has shocked many. So now, like a senior journalist who were covering Bengal and national politics for last 25, 30 years, Joyanta Ghoshal, he has written in his Facebook post that BJP has preempted that there can be an alliance, opposition alliance for 2024 Lok Sabha election, whose face could be Mamata Banerjee. So in order to lose her, like reduce her credibility or damage her credibility among the opposition leaders, among the opposition circle, that this communal tension has been this political violence has been given a tinge of communal tension. And also violence is happening, there is no doubt in that, Seraj. I will just to set record on straight that violence is happening. People are getting killed, houses were being burnt, offices, party offices are being torched. There is no doubt, but there is again the scale. We are talking about the ferocity of it, the scale of it. Is it something that the BJP leaders are calling for president's rule? Are we in that level that the law order has completely break down? I think it is not. We till today, according to the party claims, we got to know that 20% who were killed in last since May 2nd of May. Among that, 9 BJP claimed that 9 were their workers. Trinamool said that 8 were their workers. CPIM and the newly formed ISF, Indian Secular Front, claimed one of their workers were deceased, and one person cannot be identified that from which party he is from. Even Trinamool, Mamata Banerjee has acknowledged 16 of them and announced compensation of 2 lakh rupees. So actually the violence is happening, but the scale is not true. The scale is not true.
I want to come back to this again once about, because we are talking about violence that has erupted. We are accepting that there is violence, and of course there's plenty of evidence to suggest that there has been violence. People have lost their lives, party offices have been torched, vandalism has happened. But the real question is, how is it always, like, how does this happen in West Bengal? You say that there is a history. In your article that you've written for The Wire, you mentioned that there is a history of post-poll violence in West Bengal. 4 states went into elections, 1 union territory. None of these, after the results, none of them had post-poll violence. But in West Bengal, we had post-poll violence. How does this happen? What is the history to the violence that happens in West Bengal, and why does it happen?
So, political science professor and political scientist, I would say, Doipayan Bhattacharya, who teaches in JNU. So he has coined a theory some time back, like a long time back actually. He said Bengal is a party society. So what does the party society means? That a political party is the most important institution in the society. more important than family, more important than friends, more important than relatives, more important than neighbors, more important than administration. We know that in the left government time. So if the brother is fighting with another brother over a piece of land, it is not the administration who solves it, it's the party who solves it. If a husband and wife, they had a problem which is completely private, but the party will get involved in that to solve that, so to solve the problem. So because Bengal is a very politically charged society, when you see the voting, you see 88%, 90% voting happens. Very few states have this kind of voting percentage. So politics has been ingrained in Bengal. Because of this party society, we can see that one full village votes for one single party, or one locality votes for one single party. So when this revenge happen, it's very easy to target. You easily target that area, that locality, or you easily target that village, because you know that village is from the opposition party. I will give two examples. In Siddhartha Shankar Roy's time, like he was the chief minister from 72 to 75, he were going against the CPIM, the Naxals, like anything, with the state machinery, with the police, like anything. Like they were going under students, hunting down students who were doing left politics that time, from presidency, from Jadavpur, from all over. Then comes the CPIM in 77. Right after coming to the power, there is an incident. I think it's in 79 or 78, if I'm not very wrong. It's called Shaibari in Birbhum, the Shaibari incident, where two brothers were killed. By the CPIM, who used to be a Congress workers, and a very brutal violence happened. We cannot talk this on camera because there are a lot of debate goes on that is it true or not, because that time we don't have electronic media, we don't have much documentation, but it's a very brutal crime happened because they were doing Congress and they were killed in front of their mother. So these are the incidents which shows that there is a culture of political violence and revenge politics. This is revenge politics.
Is there going to be a point where there is a withdrawal from this culture of post-poll violence? I mean, as you say, people are divided on and united on the basis of the political parties that they're aligned to. I mean, in some sense, in the course of becoming a mature democracy, I mean, in the course of that, will there be a withdrawal from this culture of post-poll violence? And do you think that there is any scope of it, given that there is now a fake news ecosystem also in play by leaders none other than the leaders of the ruling party, than the ruling national party?
It's very difficult to say that, because it has gone in. It's no more a normal isolated incident. It has become a part of the society. So it needs to be a social change. You need that kind of leaders. You need that kind of system. You need a complete overhaul of the system. Like Bengal police in Bengal were always partisan with the ruling party. Right. So Bengal's police, I have very doubt that how much Bengal police, like West Bengal police, has worked independently for the last 40-50 years. Whoever comes, like across the political color, whoever comes to the power, they have make police administration as their extended party, I will say, workforce or something. Right. So if police are not being given the independent charge, if police could not work independently, it is very difficult to foresee that kind of a society what we are looking. But obviously, in a civilized world, in a democratic world, this should never happen. It's a very wrong thing that people of Bengal are doing for last so many years. I will say one thing about the fake news. I really want to say this, that the degree of fake news, like the unprecedented level of, there is two things. There is unprecedented level of content and the way it has been made. like my friend, like he's very close friend of mine. We studied in the same college. Obro Banerjee, his name is Obro Banerjee. He's from India Today. He's now works with India Today. His photo appeared on the BJP video, and it's none other than, the video has been launched none other than from the top BJP leadership.
Right.
So much so that the BJP president was also present.
There is one of the BJP workers who had been killed in the violence, and Obro Banerjee is actually a reporter for India Today.
Correct.
Yeah.
So and this is not the first time. I think News Laundry during the West Bengal election found that there was a advertisement of Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, and that woman is living in Kolkata with 500 rupees in a rented house with 500 rupees. She doesn't have a house, but her face was being used in the advertisement with Prime Minister Modi, claiming that she got the house.
And she denied doing any of this. I mean, if you look at it in that way, it's also fake to run an advertisement based on somebody's image that you picked up, and the person doesn't know about it at all.
Yeah,
so that's definitely there. Last question, Himadri. I mean, in the course of time to come, in the next few days, I mean, what are we looking at? How is this situation going to be resolved? There are people who are calling for a president's rule to be imposed. There is a section that's saying that the TMC is losing faith. And the TMC itself has announced they'll be compensating for the victims. They'll be giving the kins a certain compensation. How do you see this is going to play out? And let's not forget, the center has already deputed a team of 4 people to fact find about the violence. How do you see this playing out in the days to come?
So always we have seen a fiction between the center and the state in Bengal. Mamata Banerjee lashes out against the BJP at the center, and vice versa happens. The fact-finding team came yesterday, the 4-member fact-finding team from the central, from the Home Ministry, and Mamata said that within 24 hours of my oath, they have sent people to my state. But whatever, since yesterday, since yesterday, I will say the news of violence started coming, that pace has reduced somewhat. Right. We still don't know. But I feel, and many other reporters I spoke to, they also feel the same. Also, Mamata has given some very strict statements. Right. I don't know how much that will work, but she has spoken at least 4 to 5 times on camera, asking all the party workers to show restraint from across the party. Right. She also told BJP leaders and BJP influencers and sympathizer workers, supporters to not to spread fake news. Right. And we have seen in the last 2 days, last 36, 48 hours, Kolkata police and West Bengal police is bursting fake news one after the other, and putting it out on Twitter and on social media. There has been, but it will take some time for us to understand that how things are happening, or is it getting under control or not, or is it the same thing is going on. It will take some time. Also, I would like to say that there is some cases in the national media which is not getting very focused, like the CPIM person who was getting killed, or the ISF person who is getting killed, or yesterday I will say that one union minister was on tour and his car was attacked. There was video. His car was attacked with stones, and he had to cut short his trip of Bengal, and he went back to Delhi. But at the same time, in North Bengal, Kuch Bihar, a former MLA of Trinamool, who contested from from Dinhata, Udayan Guho, even he got beaten up. He was attacked. His hand got fractured. Right. But these news are now not coming out in a large way, because a lot of people are now, because of BJP's so much fake news, the actual news are also getting now covered up. Not nobody, but many people stop believing it. The actual incidents. I mean, that's also the Delhi media is reporting in a very I will say in one part of the media is reporting in a very biased manner, giving complete focus or space to the BJP's workers and not to any other party workers. So there is a confusion in that level too.
Thank you, Himadri. Thank you so much for joining us today. We hope that peace prevails in West Bengal, especially at a time when we are dealing with not just the violence or the fake news ecosystem, but also with a pandemic. To our viewers, we would ask you to remain safe and keep watching the space for more interviews, ground reports, and stories. Thank you. Thank you so much.
द वायर के और वीडियोस देखने के लिए सब्सक्राइब करें और बेल आइकन पर क्लिक करें। स्वतंत्र पत्रकारिता की आर्थिक मदद करने के लिए डिस्क्रिप्शन में दिए गए लिंक पर जाएं और अपनी राशि